Hey, we're gonna extract honey. So we've already kind of started. We've got 2 supers down here, if you wanna put those in there. We've got a couple supers with some finished honey. You see there's some open cells, but we put a fan over top of this for overnight and just made sure this is dehydrated well enough. And we've got probably 6 or 7 frames in here, and you can see some of them are different color. Look at how light this one is compared to this one. So these are from different times of year. This is from earlier in the year when it was cooler, and this is from closer to maybe the last few weeks when it's been warmer. Different flowers have been open. So what'll end up happening is all this will blend together. When we extract it, it'll all go into this bad boy. We see we've got a couple in here that are loaded. This is our extractor. All right, so we're gonna uncap these so that we can extract them. We use a serrated knife that's made for uncapping. And you can use different types of knives. Some people use a hot knife that's basically a knife slash soldering iron, and it burns the cappings off. Nothing wrong with that. I just like this because it doesn't require power and it's not gonna burn out on me, so I can just keep using it. And if you don't have one of these, you can even use a bread knife. So I'll do it with a bread knife just so you can see. But you can get in here, and you want a knife that's big enough to go across your bars. These are medium frames, so this is long enough to go across both bars at the same time. And you just saw back and forth and just get the cappings off. That's all you got to do. So you can see this bread knife actually works fine. So if you don't want to buy an uncapping knife, you can totally just use a bread knife. Some people use a fork to kind of pry these off, or uncap them like this. You can scrape. It takes forever though. It's really good in the corners where you can't get the knife. But I find this is a really good knife. Works well enough. Get that off. You can see that nice honey under there. I keep some hot water here to keep the blade warm and to kind of keep it from getting too sticky or gross. Sometimes when it gets gummed up with honey, it'll start kind of pulling more off than you want. I think the bread knife worked better. Might need to go back to the bread knife. Oh my gosh, the bread knife's better. The bread knife is better. Wow. So, yeah, don't buy one of these uncapping knives. They're stupid. Bread knives are the way to go. So as you'll notice too, not only are we using a knife to uncap this, but we also have this little tray here. And this is just a roaster pan, old aluminum roaster pan that we had that we just sort of use for general purpose stuff. And what I did is I cut a couple grooves in this piece of pine. And those grooves ride on top of this here, keeps this from sliding back and forth. And then it allows me to set the honey frame up out of the tray while we uncap, so that I don't end up with a bunch of wax and schmutz and stuff on the bottom of the frame while we're uncapping. So then once we extract, we'll take all these cappings, we'll put them in a strainer, not unlike this one. It'll sit over the bucket, cover it with some plastic, set the whole thing out in the sun, and let the honey heat up and drip out of the wax into the bucket so that we get all of our honey that we ended up with in this tray, and we get that in with the rest of our honey in the bucket. We've uncapped both sides here. And now it's time to put this in the extractor. You can see, got a nice little slot for it here. I try, because this is a lightweight extractor, kind of have to be mindful of the weight of the frames, and I try to put frames with similar weights opposite each other, and that helps balance it so it doesn't wobble too much. But ultimately, if it wobbles, we just hold it. Spun these for a few minutes, and you can see, well, this one we just did the one side, but you can see there's no more honey in there, maybe a little tiny bit, but We've got all the honey out that we want to take. We'll leave that there for the bees. All right, well, we've got this extractor pretty full. We've extracted 8 frames, and now we're gonna strain it. So just open up this honey gate, and out goes the honey. And here comes our little dog Champ.